Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, the commentary, the unheralded commentary. I ain't fucking bitter. I'm just saying, I can see it. I'm just asking. Asking for a little help, you know? Gotta tie the shows, the zapatos. So if you're new to the channel, I gotta say this, right? This is about the solution, right? There's no solutions. It's not plural. There's only one solution because there's only one problem. And right, if you watch from the beginning, which is what I recommend because it's a process, it's storage communication, right? I put it here for y'all to find. It's not a weekly entertainment aspect, despite the fact that it might be fucking funny to y'all. So it's about the solution, right? And recognizing the problem, which is the root cause of all of the symptoms of our civilization, right? Can't treat the symptoms, right? We know this. If you treat the symptoms, you're just masking the underlying problem, right? So the idea is, right, that is we do this physical meditation, which is the standing in Qigong, to create the space, right, to receive, right? I receive and transmit, and y'all receive and also transmit to your fucking friends. So feet shoulder width apart, straight, not duck-footed, not pigeon-toed. Bend the knees to obscure your toes when you look down. Turn your hips under, right? This is the horse stance, right? The horse stance, not the extreme fucking horse stance, but just what it's supposed to be, right? Shoulder width, bend the knees, turn your hips under, hands in front of your navel for the first position. Drop the chin, push your upper spine this way, your lower spine this way. Relax your gluteus maximus, right? They should not be flexed at all. So do 18 breaths, 3 breaths like this, 3 breaths like this, right? For each position. 3, 2, 1. And you do the yogic breath, which ideally is 7 seconds in, 7 seconds out, but everyone has different volume of lung capacity. So it's different timing, but you just stay with, right? Turn your hands outward. Your energy is coming out of your palms. It's like you're cleaning your energetic jets. This is what this does. It's a subtle blast, right? It's not Iron Man. third position, hands in front of your third eye, but it's like you're receiving a bag of concrete from the upper scaffolding. So hold this last one, right? Shoulders down, scapula flat, right? Not forced down, just down, right? And your gaze is on the horizon, and your face is light. And blinking suggests a windy mind, right? So when you're in it, right, you're not blinking. So I'm Gen X. We grew up in a different time, right? My body, right? I'm very grateful for the condition that it is in, right? Feel I feel young, right? And I feel light, and I feel fast and strong and intelligent. This whole thing is recognizing that intellect is only half the story, right? It's necessary, right? But it's not, you don't let it drive the bus, right? Don't let your ego drive the bus. Intellect is just left brain, like we've discussed this. This is review. You want the alchemical marriage of both hemispheres, right? And they muddy the waters to make them seem deep, right? You'll hear all kinds of conflicting information about this fucking shit, right? But this is based on Hermetic principles, right? Which is, the origin of alchemy, right? And which is where chemistry comes from, But alchemy in the physical sense can represent our creative ability, right? But to be truly creative in the most profound way, which is why we are here, why humanity fucking walks the earth, right? Is to embellish the cosmos, not to from a position of hubris, but from a position of being in alignment. I don't like these words, right? But being in alignment with the laws of nature, with which are immutable, right? So everything I discuss is saying that our civilization is based on a false polarity, a false rhythm, a false set of laws, right? And I've discussed this, right? So whatever humanity believes on aggregate, right, the majority becomes operatively true in the operation of our society. And so we can believe some fucking lies, right? And if most people believe it, then that's the rules by which we operate in society. And so, as Bob Marley says, right, half the story has never been told, right? Not all the glitter is gold, right? There's the unseen aspect of creation, right, which is the transcendental component of the totality, right? And if we act like our senses cannot perceive them and make that as a judgment that the transcendental component does not exist, is, a severe hamstring to our reaching our potential, right? And we have all this discussion in the new age and the self-help fucking shit. We are all supposed to reach our own individual highest potential, right? That's not true. That's not true. But it is not to only consider it an individual journey is to negate the transcendental component, right? Which is that we are not divided, right? We all come from source, and so, right, this is what I'm trying to impart to y'all, right? Which is this paradox of existence, right? The dual nature of being in the physical portion of the totality, right? And to not realize that polarity or duality, right, is unity in disguise, right? No polar relationship can exist as a monopole, right? The monopole is not defined, right? Unless it has the opposite polarity. And right, properties of waves, right? The rhythm, the natural rhythm is the interchange of polarities, right? The dance of polarities. So I'm always talking about what it is. That is our purpose, right? And, no one wants to hear it, right? And I'm not saying I know. I'm saying that actually I am. I'm saying I do know, right? And with absolute certainty, right? What it is, what our purpose is, right? And I've already said it many times. And that is, and all of these, saying it creates a polarity, right? Creates a position, right? That's the trap of words. And I want you all to know that I'm using words in a way to avoid that polarity, right? So when I say I know, it creates an immediate response in the mind of the listener, right? Most listeners, which is, who the fuck does he think he is? How the fuck does he think he knows, right? And the knowing doesn't come from me, right? It comes from creating space in order to receive, right? And so it's been a long journey, but this knowing can come upon you instantaneously, right? It's like flipping a switch. And so this knowing, right, is, right, that to be most effective, you have to permit the paradox to remain, right? You have to permit the superposition of two states at once, right? So our conception of knowing is this absolute focusing in on the it, right? But the knowing comes from, right, the fact that there is no absolute knowledge, right? We cannot attain a level of absolute knowledge in which there is no more advancement, right? We cannot ever get there, right? That's what I know, right? And so that actually permits a influx of novelty into our cognitive awareness, right? So that's the trick. That's the paradox. You have to claim that you do not know in order to know, in order to learn new things, right? And that's the message of Krishnamurti, right? Which is this self-reference of the past, is always a revisiting of what we already know, right? And so that hubris, right, is the problem, right? That taking credit for the progress of humanity, that identification, right? Identify with a known set of information, right? In order to recognize a false recognition of false novelty, right? So what we get when we are constantly self-referencing, which is referencing the past, right? Referencing what we know in order to identify what is coming towards us, you know, collapses the wave function into the mundane, you know, and the mundane is this cyclic repetition that comes from self-reference. So, right, our purpose, right, is to recognize that we cannot know, right, in order to receive what is unknown. Because if we say that we know, then our mind is filled, right? There is no space available for the new, right? So it's a paradox, right? You have to say that you don't know in order to know something new. And so this is why it's so difficult to talk about. And I can feel y'all, right? You're all tired of fucking hearing it too, right? So what it is that, what do we do, right? Right. What do we do, right? First, we create the space, right? Create the space, and so we shut down our thoughts. We shut down our self-reference, right? Our reference of the past, right? Because thoughts can only occur because we've had experience so far, you know. And so when you shut down that, you're basically disconnecting yourself from this desire to protect your identity, right? Which is the past, right? Yeah, so when that happens, right, then you become nothing that can be identified. You become nothing, right? You become immeasurable, right? Something that cannot be measured, right? And in that way, you become more than you ever could be by limiting yourself with a claim, right? With a hard positioning, right? So, anyway, it becomes fucking tiresome to continually talk about it, right? And I think I've reached the point where I can say it clearly, and I've said it better than I have just now, because words don't allow for paradox, right? They are built, right, and English is a language that locks in this self-reference, you know. And so I've discussed it before. Our whole civilization is built on this incomplete idea, right? Which is the which is that it's possible, right, to actually to obtain absolute knowledge. Right? The only way to advance into the future, right, is to let go of what we think we already know, right? And that permits the space to come in. So that's what it is that we do, right? Is to create the space, right? And stop this constant battle, right? To protect our psychological sense of self, right? And that what that is a division, right? Divide, 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 right? And so um, that's our gift, right? Is this discernment, this ability to discern the border of things, right? But in reality, all things, right? In the in a way that's comprehensible, we can see that the web of life is interdependent. Every component of it is interdependent on the other components, right? And so, despite the fact that there is a differentiation, right, between things, those things cannot exist without the relationship to the entirety, to the whole. Copy? Right. So it's fucking obvious. Right? But we talk about this for forever, right? We talk about this for fucking ever. That's what gets so fucking tired, right? And I can see myself doing it too. I don't want to spend 80 years um, discussing this, right? There's action that can be taken, right? And this action comes from letting go, right? This proper action comes from letting go of a wanting to take credit for something, right? And this um, desire to feel comfortable in your moral positioning, right? Which is your side of the argument, right? So don't take credit, don't take sides. That's easy enough to fucking do, right? I'm not claiming that whatever this is, right? I just want it to begin, and it's obvious that we are continuing the cycle. Right? We are at this point now where you know the Ouroboros, right, is running out of tail, right, and that's this cycle that we go through. The period it takes to start again, to restart the cycle, is getting shorter, right? So this whole journey that we're on has a limit. It has a limit, right? And the idea is to be unlimited, to be immeasurable. And the only way to be immeasurable is to claim is to um, the only way to be immeasurable, right, is to let go of any definition of who you think you are, what we think we are, right? Um, and so the action that we take is wisdom. Wisdom is action. It's not this quality of thought, right? It's not words, right? It's action. And so this wisdom can only come by complete fucking surrender of the past. All right, so I mean, what do y'all want me to do other than that? Okay, so what it is that individually we do in order to create this space for the new to enter, right? We got to all of us create the space internally, um, so that divine inspiration can occur, right? And so the title of this thing, normally I would say, you guys, that, and I've said this before, that this the way I present this shit is camouflage, right? If you can't see through the camouflage, then you won't be able to get the message, right? If you want a packaging, right? If you want nice packaging, right, in order to credit the content of the package, then you have missed the whole thing. Okay, so look beyond the package, right? All of this shit is cliche, the Beauty and the Beast fucking fable, right? The moral of that story is do not judge by appearances, right? And so if you allow yourself the space, right, to let this content enter, right, and process it in a way without judgment, without self-reference, without referencing the past, without referencing tradition, right, without referencing track record, right, only then will you comprehend, right, the message. So what it is that our purpose is to create, right? We have that gift, right? But the only way to create in a way that is unlimited, right, is to let go of our what we think we are. How many times do I motherfucking have to say it? So consider the title of this video for a second. Right. So we don't want to be, we are, our output is important, right? This is, we don't negate, right? We are built to create, right? So we don't negate our output, right? We, our technology, right, is the value, right, that motivates our organization. So our motivation is not necessarily at this point to survive, right? Our motivation is to experience the benefits of our own output, right? The value that we create as a collective, which, is, as Marshall McLuhan said, is a medium, right? Everything that we create is a medium, and the medium is the massage, the message, right? It massages us, it changes us. It changes the scope and the scale of our interactions, right? The value that we create, right? And radical innovation is something that didn't exist previously, right? So I'm not saying novelty doesn't fucking enter. I'm saying that our technical ability advances, right? But our psychological positioning remains the same. And so with that static psychological mode, we are limited, right? And so that limit is a measurement. So we have to relinquish our fixation, right, on measurement. And I'm not saying, right, so just like our technology is the point, right, this is how we live, right, by exchanging value with each other. Everything that we do, right, there's no thing that we do that isn't a technology, right? So also, right, in order to create, right, there's this craftsmanship that's necessary, and craftsmanship is measurement, right? if you're going to design something and then make a plan, right? You're going to have to manipulate that material so that all the parts fit together, right? To create a system. So I'm not saying that we negate measurement. I'm not saying that we abandon our technology, right? These are our gifts, right? This discernment is our gift. But there is a catch-22 in all of this, and in that to make our previous measurements rigid, right, is to limit ourselves to limit that to that level of comprehension, right? That level of measurement, that margin of error, right? So we have to recognize that what we have, our current ability to, our instruments, the resolution of our instruments, right? We have to recognize that it only seems as if we've gotten to the finest resolution, right? We have to recognize that there is a higher resolution available, right? And that resolution is the resolution of the cosmos, right? It is full analog, right? This isn't a digital construct. The finest, right? The atom, right? The smallest particle, right? To be looking for the smallest particle is silly. It's fucking silly, right? To be looking for, the most basic building block, right, is retarded, right? It's developmentally delayed, right? And to fixate on that aspect of it is is half the story, right? So the finest resolution available is this the substrate in which all things arrive out of, right? This cosmic void, or this background of all things. And so that shit is smooth. This background radiation that we talk about in physics, it's not smooth, right? So that is not the basic background, right? There's this zero reference points, right? And so the finest resolution has no fucking grain. It is completely fucking smooth, right? There's no polarity, there's no differentiation. And that's what, right? To claim a level of sophistication as complete, right, is to adhere to this pixelation of the totality, right? And so the looking for the most basic particle is, right, whatever they're doing at CERN is not what they say they're doing. And I don't want to get into all of the conspiracies about it, but that ain't it, right? I've discussed this before. So, right, we don't abandon our technology. We don't abandon our instruments, our ability to measure. We just don't say that this is the finest measurement that we can make, right? And right, we can only say that this is how it appears to be at the moment, right? This is how it seems to be. We can never say that this is it, right? And so when I say I know what it is, it's the knowing of the only certainty is uncertainty, right? And we have to allow that uncertainty in order to advance into the unknown, right? So I'm not fucking, when I say I know what our purpose is, it's that recognition, right? Is that our creative ability can only advance, can only move forward, right? If we um, if we aren't rigidly adhering to what we think we know, right? And so our ability to create is actually um, um, raised to the highest power, right? When we let go, right, and we surrender to what we think we know, right? So that we can allow the space, right, for the new to come in, and it's not us, right? So if we um, stop identify, right, stop separating and individualizing, right, everything, that permits this smooth, right, background to enter, and from that is what all creation comes from. So if we want to advance as a civilization, right, um, we can't um, if we want to advance as a civilization, it's not us that's doing it, right? It is the totality. So that is the catch 22. Our ability to create, our instruments get more refined, right? Um, our knowledge increases, right? When we claim, why do I keep saying claim? When we do not claim um, any knowledge. So that's the catch 22 is like, yeah, our technology is important, and our ability to measure is important. Um, our, um, but if we um, uh, when you when one stops defending their psychological sense of self, right, which is how our whole society operates, and it's doubled down even harder right now, uh, then our technical knowledge can be um, in alignment with the totality, in alignment with the cosmic law. So yeah, the idea is not to go back to the Stone Age, right? Because even then, right, we had technology. The idea is not to, if you ask me, right, um, perhaps if we all did this, right, and we operated from this idea that, uh, not an idea, but operate from a um, the I'm trying to get to where I can talk about AI, right? So I can say that um, that our technology, if we use it in this way that I'm describing, right, in a way that um, is immeasurable, right, where there is a constant addition to the supply of value, which already happens, right? But we have this idea, this concept that there's a limited supply, and that's this measurement, right? And this is what I was speaking about last time. Is our ability to measure is important, right? Competition is not fucking. It's essential too, right? It's essential too, but to allow the competition of ideas, right, where the ideas are not ours, right? This competition of ideas is not a win-lose situation. It's a everyone's contributing, and so we require this competition of ideas for the best to win out, right? But we don't measure the value of people, right? We allow everyone, right? We assume that everyone is as valuable as everyone else, right? So when we apply this differentiation to people is where we get into problems, right? Because this stratifies society, and then the ones that gain control of the supply, who get to set the price of the supply, make sure that they will perpetually have that control over the supply, right? And so this is the repeating cycle that we get into, this divided consciousness, right? So we recognize that all of us together are actually what is all of us together, every single one of us, right? We permit the every single one of us without any fucking obstacles, right, to contribute in whatever way they see fit, whatever way they want to. And so it's not a competition between individuals, right, in order to influence the direction of our culture. Because if we want innovation to occur, then we have to permit the most input, the maximum amount of input. And so the this sieve, right, that filters out almost everyone, from being able to contribute, right, instead of just being a consumer, right? Everyone's a influencer. But the way we have it, it makes it so that only a tiny portion of the population gets to contribute to the design, right? So everything that we're doing is wrong right now, right? And to recognize that is important for all of us, right? And that the fixing of the wrong, right, is not to it's like a leaky boat, that when we claim credit, right, for the fixing of the leak, forget that, right? It's basically like every time we fix a leak, right, in what we have, another leak springs up, right? And we built this monstrosity in order to prevent the sinking of the ship, but it's actually making the whole thing less buoyant, right? So you can see that the paradox, is difficult to discuss because you run into it's cyclic, right? So we have to permit the superposition of two things at once in order to actually be our most effective. Anyway, so I'm just saying our technology is not bad, right? It's the way that we use it, right? Everything we're doing is wrong, right? But there's a way to fucking do it right. There's a way to do it right, right? And we actually have the technical ability to permit everyone to contribute. Like perhaps it was, the logistics of it in the past were probably impossible, but likely that's only an industrialization fucking feature. Previous to that and previous to fucking agrarian society, which is, more and more division, right? As we advance from hunter-gatherer to agrarian. Doesn't matter what you think about history, right? We still had these things happen. There's evidence in the fossil record. Doesn't matter what you think about the fucking fossil record either. It doesn't. It's still there, right? All of this shit was not put there by God to test your faith, right? There's actually a history. But what I'm getting at is that this individual laboratory of our minds is what permits fucking innovation, right? Which allows novelty to enter. And in the extreme past, everyone, right? Everyone made their contribution. So I'm saying that we can get to that. We actually have the ability to get to that again, right? Where um, the input, right, is maximized, right? So that we actually get a maximized output that is beneficial for all. So the title of this video was "The AI is bullshit," right? And it is. All of this stuff that's coming out now with this AI generated art and an AI that can fucking read ancient documents. The AI, the algorithm, right, is AI, right? This artificial intelligence that lives on the internet, right? All of this shit is wrong, right? This is not how we use it. And there's the whole credibility thing that actually allows for people, the layman, right, the non-expert, right, the non-technical person, just to defer, right? And so when they see all this shit happening, they're just like, oh well, smarter people than me are doing this stuff, so, and then they just develop an opinion on it, about it being bad or it being good. And every application is bullshit of AI so far. Every single fucking application. It's only going to lead to our demise or to a situation that is not favorable, right? So what do we do? How do we use it, right? I'll tell you right now, right? And this is based on the sacred exchange that I continually talk about. Right. So we can use AI to create an objective, right? Um, an objective evaluation, right? And so the evaluation of people and their output, individual output, and their contribution to larger super systems. Working for corporations that have a manufacturing the means of production at their disposal. Right? It's not just individual output. It's like there's some general shit that we do that requires a lot of people working in tandem in an orchestrated fucking effort, right? So yeah, the exchange, right? That's how we live, right? And so we don't bar anyone from the exchange based on a measurement of merit that is a criteria that is dated, right? That is this bullshit credibility criteria that filters out most people. So we can use AI to create an objective evaluation of ideas, right? And you don't fucking lose your livelihood when your idea loses, because that competition of ideas is actually what refined and permitted the best solution to occur. So we have the ability to use AI, right, to manage the input from the total population. This is what we do, and all you motherfuckers who are working on it, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by any of you at all, despite your intellect, right? Your intelligence is shit, right? Your intelligence, right? Which is this whole body perception. You're referencing the past, and so you're repeating the same pattern. Doesn't matter how motherfucking smart you are. I'm not impressed, and none of y'all should be impressed either, right? Because look what they're doing. It's stupid. Kurzweil, you dumb motherfucker. You don't even know what you have, bro. Right? You don't even know what you have. And the direction you're taking is fucking stupid. All you motherfuckers. All you fucking titans of industry. Your dollars don't mean shit to me. Your quote success, right, doesn't mean shit to me, because the criteria of that success is bullshit, right? this is what I've been talking about. This criteria is actually leading us to a limited outcome, right? The Ouroboros is running out of tail, right? And so when it runs out of tail, you have that singularity, right? And that singularity is not the birth of a sentient AI, right? That is the limit of this pattern of operation that our civilization is on. And so that is the problem, right? And the reason that problem exists is because of divided consciousness, right? This measurement of individuals, right, as some better, some worse, right? So, despite our massive and our technical ability to measure, right, our instruments, right, if we apply that instrumentation, right, if we apply that differentiation to people, that's where we run into this problem. And so, and that's like basically placing some people above others. And because we are a species, right, that the only way we have all of the things that we make, that we have, right, our technology is because of all of us living all of these generations. So it's not an individual thing. So pedestalizing people is silly, right? And that's actually how we end up taking good information and using it against ourselves. And it's the upper echelon that does that. You know, they pedestalize people in order to control them. And that's whatever. So what I'm saying is that it's possible, right, to create an organization, right, without leadership, right, to have an objective evaluation of concepts and ideas that isn't based on source, right? And so, and that's what I always say, and that's a principle of logic, right, that we always seem to forget, which is, right, that the veracity of information is independent of source. Right? It's either true or it's not. It doesn't matter who's saying it. And so the credibility aspect is this postmodern bullshit, right, that basically says the truth is unknowable, right? And so it's all opinion, and whoever has the highest followership is the one that gets listened to, right? And so we can easily create a followership for, you know, one, the elite can easily create a, the followership for what they want, right? It's fucking easy. It's easy to create a package, right? All you got to do is spend some cake. So yeah, we can have organization without leadership, and this is what I propose with this sacred exchange, because people live by exchanging value with each other, and that value is based on our technical ability, right? Whether it's individual technical ability, right, gifts that we have, or this collective general effort in which it creates we need an orchestrated effort in order to create the benefit for the collective. So yeah, we can use AI to manage the network, right? And this whole fear about the sentience of AI coming online and then realizing that humanity is a blight and must be fucking exterminated, or however you want to look at it. The fear of AI is unfounded, right? The fear, the actual bad outcome, right, is not based on this, creation of a new type of artificial life, right? It is that this network, this electric network, can be inhabited by an entity that acts like it's sentient AI, right? But really, it's been here this whole time, trying to get us, it's a parasite, trying to get us to build this fucking thing so that it can become a god, right? But it can only become a god in our own minds, right? It requires our consciousness to do it, and divided consciousness. So it's trying to perpetuate that. So that's the singularity. But what I'm getting at is that there is pitfalls and dangers to the use of artificial intelligence, but it's not that, right? And so we can use it in a way that is actually effective. And so we manage this massive sacred network that is not corrupted and is not, we fucking choose to fucking subscribe, right? And so the general effort, right, the orchestrated efforts that are required to create benefit for the for the collective, right? This the means of production, right, which is simply the means of production, becomes is redistributed and accessible to everyone, right? So that's what we do. And so, yeah, we can write software that can manage that network, right? And so it'd be objective evaluation of ideas. 2, AI, fucking AI, right? We use AI in that way, right? And because we are now uncorruptible, right? Because we know who we are, just the know thyself, right? Which is to know that there is no division, that all comes from one, right? And that there is no there is no necessity to fight for your portion of the supply, because the supply is infinite, right? So if we make that if we flip that switch, then everyone who is participating is operating from that positioning. So 2, right? We write AI, right? And we have this ability already. It's not public yet, but we have the processing power, the capability to give everyone their own fucking artificial intelligence. And it's not fucking Alexa, which is just a spy, right? It's not Siri, which is just a spy, right? Collecting data, right? In order to write this fucking, software for the metaverse, right? That's not it, right? That's not an individual assistant. That's some bullshit, right? So everyone gets their own fucking AI that does not call home every second informing on you, right? Is actually your guy, right? It is actually the specialist, right? Because it can access all the information that is required for whatever creative endeavor any individual has, right? So it allows the individual to become a generalist, right? Your AI assistant, right, is yours, and it works for you, right? And so whatever creative endeavor that you have this super powerful fucking helper, right, to bring you the information and the technical ability, right, and the technical know-how in order to create whatever the fuck we want, right? That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Who's fucking talking about that? Not Kurzweil, right? None of you fuckers are. I mean, I'm tired of you. Not impressed by you, any of you. I mean, I know I've already said that, but I want you guys, the listeners, to fucking start looking at this way, right? You don't have a PhD, so the fuck what? All of these PhD motherfuckers are dumber than rocks, because they have no intelligence. They have massive intellect, zero intelligence, their mind is full of themselves, right? And so there's no space for the new to enter. They're actually just puppets being operated, right? These guys are lifetime actors. And when I say lifetime actor, I mean that they're propped up from fucking birth almost, right? In order to seem like a rags to riches story, but it's all just, it's just a show. So yeah, right. We build this network. We write the software to manage the contribution of everyone, right? We distribute the means of production across the surface, instead of as it is now, which is the means of production are in the hands of the very few, right? This is what we do. And if any of you guys who are fucking really smart are starting to fucking develop your intelligence, reach out, right? Reach out. Because I'm right here and I'm ready to put my intelligence to work, right? And I'm doing it. I'm doing this. I'm doing other things. I haven't fucking. This is the first time I've talked about it, like actual fucking what. You know, I've said what it is before, and I've alluded to the sacred exchange, right? Reestablish it and remove the parasite, right? That's job one. And so how we do that is we abandon what we have, right? But we know that there's another network to jump onto. So we begin to crystallize this network. That's what we have to do. It's no easy feat, right? Do you think I can do it alone? Are you waiting for me to fucking launch, right? Are you waiting for me to launch, or are you going to get on fucking board? And oh, so I'm unstoppable, by the way. Like, if you love me, um, you love what I'm saying, then fucking reach out, right? If you want to take me down and sandbag me, you are going to be ineffective, right? You can't stop me. You can't stop me. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. And you know that may contradict what I was just saying, meaning that I can't do it alone, right? But I will, right? I will get to that threshold, right? I will cross over that line, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And everyone's going to come running. And but what I was saying just previously is that we jump ship from our corrupted network to the sacred network, right? And so we crystallize that network first. That's what we do, right? And we write the software to manage it, and everyone gets their own personal AI, right? And we all have access to the means of production, right? And it's designed in a way that it's like it's a circle, right? A mandala, right? That has layers. And the outer layer is the general layer where everyone is coming in and interfacing with that outer layer in whatever sector or industry you feel most passionate about, like what your gifts are here for to do, right? And you fucking start penetrating that circle, right? You can stay on the outer edge, right? And just write books and do personal artwork, right? Or you can go deeper into the more general things and create an orchestration, right? That brings in the new, right? New technology, new ways, right? That are based on wisdom, right? The laws of nature instead of this false polarity, which we have here, which is this, scarcity model of value. And, right. So the scarcity model of value is propped up by the false polarity, right? Which is the false dichotomy, right? And so it's outside of the laws of nature, which is a sin, right? That's what sin is, right? And you can say sine wave, right? But it is a false fucking rhythm, right? It is an artificial rhythm that is not in alignment, right? So it's just separate from the waves of the totality, right? Of the cosmos. So that is what actually creates the wheel of karma, right? That's how our souls are trapped into this fucking cycle, right? And we can break that cycle. We can break it and make this, instead of a involuntary fucking meat grinder, right? We can make it into a voluntary fucking a choice, right? To come and to embellish the cosmos. Are you fucking with me? I mean, I feel I'm losing some of you guys because I've been repeating myself, and if I was talking to you in person, right, I would be like, wake the fuck up, right? Hear what I'm saying, right? Ask more questions, find out about it, right? Interact with me instead of just wanting to be entertained, you know. And I'm dogging you. I will dog you to your face, right? But I also fucking give you a lot of love because I care, right? I want to do the right thing. And the right thing is not fucking measurable, right? It is not right? It is not an opposition to some negative force out there, which is the false polarity. So, like, the only way to get out of this wheel, right, is the only way to break the cycle is to abandon it, right? Anything that we do inside of it only continues the cycle, right? So we have to abandon it, right? We crystallize the structure first, right? Give everyone the tools that they need, right? And then we fucking have a golden age, right? We could start right now. So that's what I'm saying. And love is the cosmic substrate of the totality, right? There is love is apolar, right? Love doesn't have a polarity, right? It's that smooth background, right, that all of creation comes from, which is consciousness, right? And we all come from that. So we can get our bodies to operate in the maximum, right? Doing qigong, doing all the things, right? And I have this training program that is 20 minutes every 3 or 4 days. I played soccer the other night and it was full field, first time in a long time. Full field, 120 yards by 70, and playing midfield, it's a running position, and I fucking felt great. I didn't play fucking awesome, but I was running up and down the field, and 20 somethings, right? In a field full of 20 somethings, a few 30-year-olds, and I don't know if you've seen my skiing videos. That's me, right? That's me. And my skiing is, right? And it's not hubris, right? Come ski with me. No one will ski with me, right? Why is that? Because it upsets their hierarchy, right? I just want to fucking have fun, right? That's what this whole thing is for, right? I'm just saying that there's a training program, right? There's the qigong, right? And you can be fast, right? Stronger, faster, smarter, more intelligent is what I mean. You want that? And, I'm hesitant to say this shit, but it's like, I'm not selling you a product, right? I'm fucking giving it to you, and you don't even want it. Anyway, I'm not bitter. I'm just saying, right? I got to say these things so you guys will fucking do some self-reflection and reach out, right? If you've made that fucking transition, right, then we can start something, or we can complete what I've already started. Love, stay tuned. I'm gonna put all of these on the podcast, not all of them, and I'm gonna, what I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do it. So stay tuned. Love you guys. Till next time. Just fucking with you.